Hurricane Fabian was one of the world's most powerful storms during the 2003 hurricane season. It would prove to be the worst storm to make a direct hit in Bermuda's history, as it was both the most damaging and the first hurricane to cause a death on the island since 1926. Hurricanes obtain their energy from the evaporation and subsequent condensation of warm tropical or subtropical water, and they will eventually lose their strength as they move over lands. As Fabian moved across the Atlantic, it did put a lot of fear of those living in the southeastern and Gulf coasts of the United States before it made a turn right and went straight for Bermuda in the central Atlantic. This right turn was caused in part by the Coriolis effect, which is caused by the rotation of the Earth, as well as the hurricane turning to the right due to the westerly trade winds helped by the subtropical ridge that had formed in the area. Fabian began as a tropical disturbance that quickly developed into a depression just off the coast of Africa, near the Cape Verde Islands in late August. This area in particular is a very common place for the beginning of many hurricanes that have passed through the Atlantic. By early September, Fabian had quickly become classified as a hurricane. A tropical storm becomes a hurricane when the winds of a tropical storm begin to exceed a sustained speed of over 119 kilometers per hour, forming only in oceans that are warmer than 26 degrees Celsius. Bermuda had not seen a storm as powerful as Fabian in about 50 years, with Fabian carrying sustained winds of nearly 193 kilometers per hour, gusting close to 209 kilometers per hour. It reached its peak as a Category 4 hurricane, only to be downgraded to a Category 3 just before it made landfall. Most of the time, these storms miss the island or they don't have much strength because the waters are slightly cooler than 26 degrees Celsius in the surrounding area. However, Fabian was a direct hit and it would prove to be a deadly one. On Friday, September the 5th of 2003, the bad news forecast had come to fruition as Fabian came within 50 miles to Bermuda. In order to classify hurricanes, we use the Saffir-Simpson scale, which is divided into 5 categories based on the highest 1-minute average wind speed in the storm. The severity and damage caused by the storm can be attributed to the fact that Bermuda was hit by the most northwesterly quadrant of the storm, the most powerful part. This led to the destruction of Bermuda's causeway, connecting the St. George Island to the main island. This is important because this causeway connects the airport to the main island, and it prevented people from being able to leave the country. Despite the causeway having a seawall built around it, the sheer power of the storm completely washed away the seawall and the causeway itself. The people of Bermuda are usually very well prepared for hurricanes, but no one could have been ready for the sheer power of the storm, and this is shown through the deaths that had occurred. They're very uncommon, and it shook the island and caught us all by surprise. The storm would leave many thousands of people without power for a couple weeks, as well as ripping the roofs off of people's houses and preventing the students from returning to school. Altogether, Fabian resulted in becoming Bermuda's most damaging and deadly storm in its history.